Welcome in to a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Shout out to our crew over at Go, G-E-A-U-X, Chevrolet.com, G-E-A-U-X, Chevrolet.com. Stop in and see them over in LaPlace if you want a brand new car. If you're looking for a used car, check them out over on Florida Boulevard in Sherwood Forest. Go Express Auto Sales, but every day online at G-E-A-U-X, Chevrolet.com. Jam-packed show. Might be a little abbreviated this morning. I got to take off and head to New Orleans. I'm spending the day down in the city. We got meetings set up all day. Really looking forward to getting down there today and talking a lot about what we got going on over here at FM Digital Media, to a couple of potential sponsors, to a television station. A lot of exciting stuff happening behind the scenes over here at FM on this Thursday.
I'm a businessman.
Absolutely, that we can get you caught up with here pretty quickly. Last night in the NBA, we saw the Boston Celtics take a 2-0 lead over the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets blew a 17-point lead. KD, that's as good as I've ever seen KD be defended. He had last night. He struggled from the field. He was scoreless, 0 for 10 in the second half. This is the second consecutive game I've ever seen him have a shot blocked. I've never seen him like that. Was kind of the scouting report on KD, was that he had the unblockable jump shot that, kind of on top of his forehead from a 7-footer that he rises and kind of jumps above you. There was nobody that seemingly on the planet that could guard him and block his shot. Now we have seen Jason Tatum do it back-to-back games. I mean, Tatum is really kind of having a coming out party from the national standpoint. He feels like he's putting himself into the discussion of like a legitimate superstar. I know that Boston and probably the Northeast has probably recognized Tatum as a superstar for a while now, but I think the country is now embracing Tatum and the Celtics as really legit. 114-107 winners last night for Boston as they took a 2-0 lead over the Nets. Last night, Philadelphia extended their series lead to 3-0 over Toronto. I don't know, man. At times, I thought Toronto was the better team in the series, but not the case last night as Philadelphia able to eke by Toronto by 3, 104-101 was the final there. So they hold 3-0 lead. And then last night, Chicago was able to knot up the series with the Bucks, 1 game apiece. Tonight, coming up, will be Golden State and Denver will be the nightcap, Dallas and Utah, and then Memphis, Minnesota. All of those series outside of the Golden State-Denver one are 1 games apiece. Golden State looks like they may not get beat.
It looks like they're back to
you got Steph Curry coming off the bench
and dropping 30 in 24 minutes
and playing very loose and relaxed. Jordan Poole, Jordan Poole might be their best player right now. I know that's probably that doesn't feel right to say out loud, but I mean, if you watch Golden State play, I mean, he is just incredible, man. I mean, I guess that 2-year struggle, if you'd have told Steve Kerr and the front office of Golden State, hey, look, you're going to be on the skids here for the next 2 years. Klay Thompson's going to be in and out. He's going to be hurt. Steph's going to go through some stuff. You're going to be, in the lottery where you're going to have a chance at Wiseman. But at the end of this, you're going to get Jordan Poole. I think you sign up for the last 2 years if you know that you got Jordan Poole in the way, because it now looks like the Warriors are set for another 5 years. Andrew Wiggins is their 5th best player. If Andrew Wiggins, and not only that, like what they have done,
the way they built it,
created Wiggins. Wiggins was a number 1 overall pick. I think everybody saw the talent of him coming out of Kansas. I mean, even in high school, he was the number 1 recruit in the country. He was out of Canada at the time, and Kansas was able to get him on campus for a year. Goes down there. He didn't have a stellar 1 season in Lawrence, but, good enough. You see the potential to make him the number 1 overall pick. He goes to Cleveland. When Cleveland had the number 1 pick.
They drafted him and traded him for Kevin Love.
Yeah, LeBron sent him to Minnesota for Cleveland when LeBron went back.
Good trade. You got a title.
Worked out for everybody.
You had Kevin Love on an island to get Steph Curry, but it seemed to work out in Game 7 of the finals.
Yeah.
Talk about a breathtaking moment for Cavs fans everywhere. Sure. Jesus.
What are you looking at over there, Stewie?
How about Joel Embiid last night?
I know.
Game winner.
I know. I'm telling you.
I don't know who it was, one of the NBA players, but they were like, a 7-footer doing what he's doing right now is just ridiculous. Like he's the best player in the league. Like,
he is.
Pretty much is.
You know what? I think, look, and some awards started to come out here, and Marcus Smart was just named Defensive Player of the Year.
Wore the robe to the game.
Yeah, which was a flex, but I don't care what people say. Draymond Green is the best defender in the NBA. What he is doing to Jokic right now is, I mean, he's got, well, I mean, it's the Golden State formula where on defense they just got him running around because the ball moves so well and they pass it so well to find the open guy. And Jokic looks like a ping pong ball. I mean, he's just bouncing back and forth and he just looks so confused. But what they're doing to Jokic on defense, what Draymond is doing to him, because I think that Jokic is probably the most talented offensive player maybe in the world. Like, I mean, like what his size, his ability, he can play outside, inside, he can handle it. He's got a turnaround game. He can beat you in a lot of ways, man.
Well, his passing from the post,
the way he can pass it. I mean, he can do everything. Yeah, he can do everything, and he's got the size. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And he's huge.
And he's got those brothers,
like like a security squad.
So you really can't talk too much shit to him.
But what Draymond is doing to him is, it's really. I mean, you rarely see Jokic get handled like that. I mean, he really kind of is confused out there. Not confused, it's just he can't get comfortable. He can't get to his spots. He can't make his shots. It's incredible to see the Warriors play. I mean, for as fun as it is to watch the Pelicans and Suns play, and it's been incredible, a great 2-game series up to this point, and can't wait to see Game 3 from the Blender on Friday night. And I'd imagine that place is already starting to buzz down in the city with the point spread coming out. Did you see Phoenix -1? I love the Pels money line on this, right? Is that a sucker bet?
I think it might be a sucker bet.
Is that a sucker bet?
Brooklyn 3.5 last night was a little cheesy.
Is that
too.
cheesy? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, look, I am sniffing
around the trap.
I am all around the trap, man, because that feels like it just feels
Glue.
like the momentum, and like the more you think about it, I mean, if the Suns come out and say that Booker's not going to play games 3 and most probably game 4, to me that tells me he ain't even making the trip. If you're going to say he's not playing in game 4, that means he's not even going to be in New Orleans, right? So, I mean, I just think that the atmosphere on Friday night, the momentum that they're playing with, if they win it, if Phoenix wins on Friday night, it means that they're going to have like a superstar-type performance from one of these cats, and it'll probably have to be Chris Paul.
I mean, could you talk about a more seminal moment for Chris Paul going to the Blender and being able to play in that environment and take one away from the Pelicans?
But if Booker's out, can't you slide Herb Jones onto Chris Paul now? And that is a nightmare of a matchup. When you talk about young, youthful legs, long, energetic.
I'm here
just
all night.
Hanging on you all night. Wherever you go, I'm coming with you.
Need Scott Foster in the arena.
It'll be, dude. It'll be the atmosphere. I hated to turn down that ticket. I appreciate it again from Lance Beal, and I know Katie and David are going to have a chance to be over there. Real quick, we're coming up. We got a lot of guests here in the first hour. Landon Ibieta, one of the late signees to LSU's class here in 2022, is going to stop by here at 7:15. The uber talented wide receiver for Mandeville. Talked to some people on the recruiting staff. That was a couple of carryovers from both regimes. They've been fighting for Ibieta for a couple of years inside the recruiting department. As soon as Brian Kelly and Mike Denbrock and that staff got the job, they looked at one piece of film on Ibieta. They took the drive down to Mandeville, offered him, and Ibieta decommitted from Miami, committed to LSU nearly on the spot. There's a lot of excitement to what Ibieta can bring in to this LSU offense, possibly in year one. We'll ask him what his expectation is going in to the first season. Then we'll have John Stefanski, who is a representative, obviously, Captain America, future governor of our state, going to stop by here at 7:30 this morning. We'll get an update from Stefanski on the latest, what's going on with the legislative session. Obviously, they're in session until the first week of June, but a lot of stuff happening, including an override of the governor's veto a couple of weeks back. We'll get Stefanski to lay out kind of how that happened, what it means for the state, and then the Pelicans. Obviously, big buzz with the Pelicans right now in the state of Louisiana. So a lot to catch up with the state representative out of District 42, our guy, Representative John Stefanski, will stop by here in about 15 minutes. He should be coming through here in a couple in a couple of minutes. So to look forward to catch up with him, and we're looking forward to catching up with Ibieta here in a couple of minutes as Lloyd is monitoring the video over there. And,
I am. I've been I realized I have to check my email because sometimes they email me back, but no email back. We're just still waiting. All good. I trust Ibieta, a young buck on the technology. We're usually good.
Rewatching the highlights on Ibieta right now. I'm
Coach,
rewatching the highlights.
swag.
And he's
super
he's
swaggy.
beating people on off man.
Everything.
He's beating them in press man. He's returning kicks. Like, this kid's gonna be good at LSU.
I'm telling you,
Like,
I think he's a freshman impact guy.
Yeah,
As
for sure.
good as the wide receivers are, and I'm not saying that he's going to break the rotation into the top 3 in his freshman season. I'm just saying that he is too good to keep off the field. There is going to be instances where, look, whether it's late in the season and you're beat up at a spot, or you're just in a couple of opportunities to get some young guys some reps, I do believe that he is going to make some type of impact during his freshman season. On LSU's football team, and then into the future, I really believe he could be something really kind of unique on the on LSU's offense. It's
Here he is.
It'll be cool to see. Remember, Daily, we're brought to you by True Blue Water, trubluewater.com. Down here, if you want to get on the delivery route, it's easy, trubluewater.com. Also, if you want to jump on the website and jump on the delivery route, very easy today. We're also brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group, our phone line, Metropolitan Health Group. As we go to our phone line now, Landon Ibieta, who is the talented 4-star wide receiver out of Mandeville. It was a dream of his to play at LSU. His story is really cool. Like, he spent his youth, his childhood growing up in Tiger Stadium. I mean, he is very relatable to a lot of people listening to this show who grew up, loving LSU athletics and hoping one day that you could run out of the tunnel of LSU. It almost looked like it wasn't going to happen, and then Brian Kelly and the coaching staff from LSU got the job, and I think in 24 hours of being in Baton Rouge, they were like, what the hell's going on? Why didn't Ibieta have an offer? And some of the old recruiting staff members were saying, Coach, we've been fighting for the guy for 2 years now. Finally they were like, offer this kid. And the offer goes out, and he is now signed with LSU and going to be on campus here in a couple of weeks. Let's go to our guy, Landon Ibieta, who is down in Mandeville getting ready for what a cool time of life. Second semester of your senior year. Not a worry in the world, right? Landon, good morning. How are you, buddy? Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good morning.
Nice. Dude, tell me about your process, bro. I love your story. You grew up a huge LSU fan. You were a big-time athlete early. Coach Hutch tells the story about when he saw you in 8th grade bang out 50 push-ups during some presidential exercise on campus. He knew you were going to be a dog. And then you end up at LSU at the end of your senior season. How'd you get here? What's your story, man?
I started playing varsity as a sophomore. I got my first offer from Tulane because Coach JJ, I trained with him growing up, so he kind of already knew about me. And then it kind of stalled all the way until going into my senior year from the Bootleggers. I started getting a few more offers. I got the Miami offer, and I committed that summer when I took my official. And I kind of stayed locked in with them until LSU came in at the last second with the new staff. That's really how it played out.
I've had recruiters tell me that they thought you were kind of like a casualty in recruiting because during kind of the prime of your recruiting, like camps weren't being offered because of the COVID thing. How did you think that affected you during your process?
It definitely affected me because recruiting, it starts so early. So I wasn't highly recruited early, so it was hard to get in the mix with no camps. Because every camp I went to, I did well. So I definitely would have rose in the rankings if they had camps.
No doubt. 37 catches your senior season, 31 carries your senior season, 3 touchdowns returned for 3 kickoffs returned for touchdowns. You can affect the games in a lot of ways. How has Brian Kelly, Mike Denbrock, the staff over at LSU, told you how they want to use you once you get to campus?
It was really Coach Hankton. He's telling me to get ready, know all the spots because he thinks I can play every receiver spot. And then Coach Polian, he's telling me to get ready. I'm already working on catching punch just by myself before I get there because they're still looking for a punt returner. So I have a chance to walk in and contribute like that.
How many times did they put you back in high school? I think it was, 3 times? How many times were you all in trouble? Like, Landon, we need one. Can you get back there for us?
Go win the game,
Go
bro.
win the game.
Yeah, I remember against my last high school game, like I had like 0 targets. They weren't throwing me the ball.
Jesus.
And the only time I really touched the ball was on punt. And I told the team, I said if they punted to me, I'm returning it because I was just pissed off because I wasn't getting the ball.
What number are you going to wear?
I have no clue.
You look great,
They haven't
too,
told
bro.
me. I hope so.
Visor?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Towel?
If you could carry that, if you could carry over that tinted visor, bro, that would be incredible. I don't think they allow that. in
Hey, I know a
SEC.
doctor if you need one. I know that's usually the
that's
requirement,
right.
so just give me a
That's
holler.
right.
Yeah, no, the tinted visor, the refs would always tell me something about it before the game that I need to take it off, but I just never did.
We're not taking that off, man. We ain't doing not today, ump. Not today, ref.
Take it up with the
So,
officials.
what have your experiences been like with Brian Kelly? How's that been with now that he's on staff? Some of the conversations that you've had.
I mean, it's mostly just like casual conversations. He just telling me he's ready for me to get down there. When I got to talk to him the most was on my official, because he was really just like talking about his like his goals for the program and how he's gonna get the program back on track with like discipline. Because he said he feels like the last staff they were really missing that.
Yeah. How about from your standpoint right now? What is life's got to be pretty cool. I mean, it looks like you're in the bedroom here. Is this a school day? I mean, like second semester of the senior year. I can't imagine. You're already signed. I'm sure you're already academically qualified. What is the daily routine for somebody like you right now?
Shoot, I mean, I got 5 days of school left.
Oh, he's done.
What a king, bro! What a king! Have you already taken the exams?
I took a few. I still have a few left, but
Done studying.
yeah, I'm pretty much done. I'm trying to tell my dad that right now. He's always on me about because like I had a 4.2 the whole time, but like these last couple weeks have been really hard to just do anything because I have like no desire. 'Cause I'm like it's already over. These
right.
grades will never matter.
Football's
ever again.
done.
Yes, get me to Baton Rouge. Your story's great. Your dad's a Marine. Your mom's like a crazy CrossFitter and athlete, like a freak athlete. Kind of what was that dynamic? That's a athletic, disciplined type household that you grew up in. What was that like? Kind of getting here.
Shoot, I mean, it definitely played a big part. Just academically, my dad was always on me he's still on me if I get a B. Like, it's annoying, but it definitely helps. My mom, everyone says she gave me the speed because she ran track in high school, and she still works out to this day. So all of that definitely played a big part in how I got here.
Everybody freaks out over like your measurables, bro. What's the official here? I've seen handheld 4.35. I've seen laser 4.4 flat. I've seen 6.1 in some areas. I've seen 185. I've seen 190. I've seen 200. What is your exact size, weight, speed right now as you and I had this discussion?
Shoot, I'm 6 foot. I'm like 187, and I'm like a 4.41.
Get you on the field speed.
That is quick. That is quick. What are your expectations for yourself in year one?
Shoot, contribute in any way. I just want to be on the field any way I can get on.
Who are you going to live with?
So I don't even know yet, and I'm moving next month. So they haven't told me anything.
Have a safe trip to Baton Rouge, bro. Thanks for logging in with us this morning. 5 days left at Mandeville High.
Look, if they see you
Golly,
again.
over and under. I got 2 that he makes.
He ain't making it
He
today.
ain't making it today. All right, man. We'll holler at you when you get to Baton Rouge. Thanks for the time this morning.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. There he is. Landon Ibieta. Get ready. At some point, he is going to affect LSU football here pretty quick. Look, man, that swag carried over to that interview a little bit, bro. He feels it.
Dude, the wearing the visor, even though the referees tell you to take it off, is an all-time move. The tinted visor and still being like, if I just keep it on, nothing's going to happen, is an ultimate swag move.
4-4-1.
Moving.
Coming out of high school. I mean, get him into a college training atmosphere where you're working on speed every single day. You're eating the right nutrition. You're growing. I mean, like, he, by his junior year, could legitimately be 4-3. You know what I mean?
4-2.
Could. Man, you think about him on a slot, on a punt return, in the open field. He's going to be fun to watch, man. He is going to be something unique on LSU's offense that you are going to have to match up with and going to have to, you're going to have to account for in a couple of years. I'm not saying next year as a freshman, but down the line at some point, Ibieta is going to be a problem. I think the easy comparison, everyone would say, yeah, he's the next Jack Bech. He's nowhere near Jack. To me, they're two polarizing opposite players. We were talking a little bit about it before. Bech is like Gronk, and Ibieta is almost like Cooper Kupp, right? I mean, if you think of their style. Bech is always running full speed. He's always running straight up. He's looking to barrel you over. He's looking to make the big play. He's jumping up in the middle of 2-3 people, pulling the ball down. I mean, he's trying to bring the hit to you on the plays that he makes. Ibieta is a much smoother, crisper 4-4 guy that can catch an out route, make one guy miss, and he's 60 yards down the sidelines. I mean, it's going to be a really cool piece to have for Denbrock and Brian Kelly down the line here once he gets into the program and really, kind of finds his role and finds his way, because I think that he is going to be he's going to be hell. He's just going to be he's going to be a problem, because obviously he's not going to be the number one threat when you're going to have guys on the outside that you're going to have to defend. I mean, think about what Brian Thomas is going to be like next season. Malik Neighbors next season in their junior year. And then you've got Ibieta in his sophomore season. And you can't, you want to double Brian Thomas in the red zone, but if you do, Ibieta in the slot is going to kill you on a slant. So, I mean, if you try to single that guy up with that speed, another thing that we didn't talk about is that he doesn't drop anything. His hands are incredible. I mean, if you watch his film, he's got Odell-type hands where he snags it out of the air. He almost like flattens the ball when he catches it. I mean, he just grips the ball. His hands are almost like stick 'em to the football. Going to be fun to watch. Appreciate his time. What a cool time in life.
Absolutely,
Right
dude.
now.
Senioritis to the max. Five days
left.
and a couple of exams. The ones he hasn't taken,
I love it.
he's good in the
You
class.
taking any exams? A couple.
I
mean, like,
And
I got
Dad's a
some
Marine,
nerd taking the
and
other two.
Yeah, Dad's a Marine, and he's still bucking the system.
So great, man. Remember, we're talking about, we are brought to you daily by our friends over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. Get in touch with our guy, Jude Barker, and the people over at Barker Brothers Plumbing and Works. They can help you out today. They're a number one and a number two business, specialize in all works of plumbing. That's industrial, commercial, and residential. Got experienced carpenters and plumbers on staff, so if you need an industrial remodel, they can help you out with that today. Remember, they cover the greater Baton Rouge area. They cover really the entire Gulf Coast if you want to get in touch with them. Easiest way to do that, and the only way to do that, is by dialing the cell phone number of the owner, Jude Barker, right to his pocket, 225-776-2431, 225-776-2431. Mention the Jordy Culotta Show to get 15% off. Bottom line, it doesn't matter whatever the service call that you need, whether it's maintenance service, you got a problem, you're looking for you got some construction going on and you're looking for plumbing, mention the Jordy Culotta Show, 15% off when you tell them you heard it here. All right, we're going to talk to John Stefanski next, who is out of District 42, I believe. Is Captain America here yet? Have I heard?
Yeah, that was the door breaking when you slammed
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, Seersucker
wow,
season.
Absolutely.
Let's
it is
go.
legislative session. It is session time. My man is a huge Pelicans fan. He was in the blender on a couple of nights ago. Yep, that's right. And we're going to talk to him about where the Pelicans are. Game 3, momentum kind of shifting in their direction. Obviously, he had a huge piece of sports gaming bill that we talked a lot about with the legislative session last year. Spread came out locally. How about the Pels? +1. +1. Yeah, I mean, like that's so pretty much a pick'em game on Friday night for Pels and Suns. I kind of feel a little. Lloyd's telling me that it's
recency
cheesy.
bias. Yes, it was 9.5.
I love the money line.
I don't think the home series is worth. I don't think the blender is worth 9 points. But Devin Booker out. However, the Suns have played well without Devin Booker in the past. So I think there's cheese.
They have
little cheese out there.
Representative John Stefanski next here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Southern Eye Centers, located at 6859 Jefferson Highway right here in Baton Rouge, has been serving your eyes for over 40 years in the capital region. They offer friendly service in a helpful environment with the highest level of personal care to manage your eye health and vision needs. If you want more information, log online to southerneyecenters.com. That is southerneyecenters.com. Stop in and check out their beautiful office located on Jefferson Highway right here in the capital city. And remember, each time you walk in there and you mention the Jordy Culotta Show, Dr. Ann Shaw and Southern Eye Centers will take 25% off of their fantastic selection of sunglasses. All you got to do is mention the Jordy Culotta Show. Check them out. southerneyecenters.com and located at 6859 Jefferson Highway.
Looking to book a dumpster but no idea how? We've made it quick and easy for you. Check out our website at moralesrolloffs.com. Let Morales Roll-Offs know your desired delivery date, and finally, provide your contact details. To make payment, look out for an email invoice with all your booking details. On delivery day, our driver will notify you through text and email that your dumpster is ready and on the way. Now you know how easy and convenient it is. Call Morales Roll-Offs at 225-427-0000 for your dumpster.
Hey y'all, it's Mikey from Mic'd Up. Catch us live every Monday and Wednesday, 11 to 1. Talk gambling, talk sports, have a ton of guests in here, get a little perspective from the athlete side of it. We got Lloyd in the house, Jay Mitch is in here a lot of the time. It's a fun show, great show. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you don't like it, it's fine. Make fun of us, it's okay. Just get us out there, share us out there. We having fun, we want to share our fun with you. Like I said, Mic'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. Every Monday through Wednesday, 11 to 1. Catch us live on YouTube, baby. See y'all.
All right, welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Great week down in the city in New Orleans. Zurich Classic starts today at TPC. Then you've got the Pelicans game on Friday night, French Quarter Fest happening down in New Orleans, so a good time to get down in New Orleans. We know that Representative Stefanski was down at the play-in game, which looked like an incredible atmosphere down at the Blender. I'd imagine it'll be down there on Friday with Phoenix coming into town without Devin Booker, it looks like. And we we welcome in Representative John Stefanski back to the show here. Nothing says legislative session is up and moving like a pair of seersucker pants. And my man is rocking them this morning here.
Yeah, and I had the full suit. I didn't do that to y'all, man.
Right.
I have a meeting right after this, and so I couldn't come casual, but I almost threw the full suit on. I said, no, I'll go in there with the pants.
Not relaxing times, though, I know, right now. And we'll get to some of the political stuff. But it looked like you had your chance to – I know that you've met Brian Kelly, but yesterday publicly he was up and around the Capitol. We've talked to you about some of these events when Kim Mulkey and some of the new faces show up. What was it like yesterday with Coach Kelly up around you guys? Yeah,
so it was LSU Day, and so they brought a few of their guys and, just try to highlight the needs of the university and, that connection because, we fund a good part of the university
Sure.
in various ways. And I had met Kelly, I think, once before. I think I had met him in D.C., shook his hand, but got to talk with him a little bit. He's making his rounds around the state because he knew my high school coach. Yeah, so
Wow.
brought up Coach Cook, who coached me in high school and is still at Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And so brought him up. So he definitely, he's getting it. His demeanor was a little different. I got to be honest. He was less business.
Yeah.
The first time I met him, all business. This time, a little less business. Kind of cool, hanging out. And the baseball coach is there, Johnson, and I'm trying to think who else. I don't think the basketball coach was there. And then, of course, Dee Bro was hopping around and working the crowd and Collis and all those regulars around the university. So it was cool. But just preaching the same things that he's been preaching, that we're basically gonna run the football team the right way, and kind of preaches that human first kind of thing. The players are going to be good citizens and good students, and then that's going to translate on the football field.
Yeah, without question. It really does feel like LSU has the right guy at the right time. I mean, it really feels like it was needed now for his type of mentality, his demeanor.
Well, what's interesting, even if you look around and, I'm always reading sports sites like I'm sure most of y'all are, and the national media, there's no unknown with him. Everybody knows we have a professional running the football program, and I think the predictions are probably going to show that as well. I'm not saying it's going to be immediate success, but I mean, there's no question about, hey, this is a first time hire. Is he ready for this? Can he play in the SEC? None of that. You don't hear any of those kind of questions. Everybody pretty much expects Kelly to be able to come in and compete.
Pelicans.
Yeah, man.
Incredible right now, man.
Hey, isn't it fun right now?
It's fun, man. I mean, it is, and it still has this feeling of curiosity and confusion on the Zion stuff. But because when you look at them play, they're so fun to watch. It's such an easy team to pull for.
When a team, and also, it's the young guys. When a team has a bunch of young guys and they all have that bounce, and everybody on the team right now has a bounce, and you can feel it. Like, I mean, Jackson Hayes, probably my favorite play of Jackson. He gets blocked, and Jackson is a 7-foot dude who can jump out of the gym. And you could see it. He took it personal. And, I mean, he ran down the court, and I don't think he cared what was happening in the play other than I'm going to embarrass this dude. And he did it. He jumped up, grabbed it with both hands, pinned it. Oof. And the team is just fun to watch right now. And I knew they would come out in Game 2 after coming out really, really slow in Game 1. Looking like they didn't know what their rotations were. Yeah. They really, it looked like Coach Green just really didn't know what guys to match up against Phoenix. But they figured it out in the first game, in the third quarter, especially, and a little bit in the fourth, until Chris Paul just went insane.
Yeah,
that
19 in the fourth. If he's got to do that, go ahead and win it, man.
Yeah,
you deserve it.
Exactly. And it was actually pretty interesting, though, because Charles Barkley in the commentary after made the comment that, hey, when an older guy has a game like that, though, it's hard to come back that watch Game 2, yeah, right. And so we come back in Game 2. Devin Booker goes off. Obviously, look, he ends up getting hurt. But I don't. That was the narrative on all the national media. But the Pelicans were leading at the time still. Yeah. When he went out. And were looking like they were the aggressor in that game anyway. So it was cool. You saw the adjustments with Coach Green. He knows his lineups now. Yeah. He knows the guys that need to be on the court in the fourth especially. And it's a fun time to be a Pelicans fan, and then what if? Just what if? I mean, let's throw in there that we can stretch this thing. Let's throw in there that this goes to game 6 or 7, and Zion can give us 10, 15 minutes. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're all just that's a pipe dream. But what if? I like to say it.
What if? I guarantee you the what ifs that they're thinking about over in Phoenix have to be keeping them up. Because, I mean, if they show up Sunday, game 4, and say Zion, comes out and he's still in his uni after warm-ups.
All-time fear
you're like,
moment.
oh, my God, what are we going to do?
The way the Pelicans have treated Zion throughout his short tenure in the NBA, though, is just so structured. You know, I don't think there's going to be any unknown. They have him on a timeline that the Pelicans are never going to break. I mean, I think Zion would have to go to him and go, I'm playing. I don't care what y'all are telling me. I'm playing. And look, as a fan, and I'm looking at Ben Simmons, who's about to come back on a herniated disc in his back, and hasn't played in a year like Zion, but he's like, no, I'm playing. You're not keeping me out of the playoffs. As a fan, you'd love to see, I think Zion would win.
The Willis Reed type moment. Right?
Yeah, he'd win so many fan points. Yeah. But at the same time, I see the organization's standpoint. They've invested a lot in this guy. If he tweaks it again, he's out for all of next year. They're like, we got 10 minutes of a guy and now we've lost him for the whole season. And so I think the organization's looking at it from a worst case scenario. The fans are like, let's go win, you know?
Yeah. Okay, now for the fun stuff is the sports stuff. Now up to Capitol Hill and what you guys are dealing with and what the politicians are dealing with. There is a ton of influx in money that's coming in the state.
Tons of money.
This session. Before we get there, something historic happened a couple of weeks ago with the signatures of the vetoing of the governor's decision. Explain the political reference on that and kind of what it meant for this session.
Yeah, so I did a show the other day and I told them, I said it really was a civics lesson and democracy at its finest, whether you agree with the moves or not. But we passed one of our maps. The governor ultimately decided that he didn't think it was right for Louisiana. He exercised his constitutional authority to veto that. So the legislative branch passes something. The executive branch, in the form of the governor, vetoes it. And then the legislative branch overrode the governor's veto, which is only, I think, it's the third time in the history of Louisiana that's happened. So pretty rare thing. And now the judicial branch, the third branch of government, is going to weigh in as well because a lawsuit was immediately filed and we'll have to defend that lawsuit, and the third branch of government is going to tell us whether or not what we did was legal ultimately. And so it's pretty, it is a historic moment from the standpoint of it just never happens. It's just so rare. This has been building for a while, though. You have a very conservative legislature with a Democrat governor, and there is a lot of clashing that goes on. And so this is something that I thought was bound to happen at some point during this term. It just so happens that this is the bill that there was enough support to override his veto. So yeah, you really, I'm sure it's something I'll talk about. We always pop into kindergarten classes and stuff and go talk when I'm back home to the different schools in my district. And so I'm sure it's something that I'll use as an example of how government works. Because it really was a good example of that.
You mentioned yesterday was LSU Day, and that you talking to a lot of the coaches. I know that you have a relationship with a lot of coaches around the state, and obviously the first thing that they want to talk to you all about is NIL.
Oh yeah,
and there's an NIL bill that is crossing over from the Senate side to the House side coming up. What is kind of the objective? What's the point of view of NIL during this legislative session after last year it was passed and made legal?
Yeah, so we passed it last year. Basically, really driven by LSU. They came to us and said we need to make some changes. You and I have talked before about what some of the other states have the ability to be able to do versus what Louisiana does. And so really the biggest thing is two things. There's language in our law that says booster. Booster is a very it could be a very wide kind of term, can cover a lot of people. But our law basically says a booster can't have any connection to NIL and paying athletes. Mm-hmm. So that's a problem because if you consider a booster just somebody who supports the program and he also owns a business, or if a guy that sits on maybe the TAF board or is involved with TAF, and so he's a booster under that, but he owns a business and he wants to be able to participate and get the athletes involved. He couldn't in Louisiana. And then the real big thing is there's language that says the university, okay? Right. can't participate, can't steer or guide the athlete in any way. And that's a big problem because, I mean, yeah, the university's probably in the best situation to be able to say, hey, look, here's some companies that we already work with.
Sure.
I mean, they advertise at Tiger Stadium.
Yeah.
They're supporting these different things that benefit the university. This would be a great partner for you. They've asked us about you, and we think this was be a great partner, so we want to put you two together. So those are the real big thing. Because here's what we found out. You know, a lot of us were under the assumption that when the NCAA would change their rules, or they basically would say, if you pass laws to have NIL in your state, you can have it. And so we proactively, two reasons. Number one, it was to push the NCAA a little bit and say, look, we're all doing it. All these states are passing an NIL law. NCAA, you should do something. But the second thing was we wanted to be ready. And instead, the NCAA basically said, whether you have a law or not, here's what you can't do and here's what you can do. And left it open.
And that's when Alabama rescinded their bill?
Yeah, so Alabama just basically said, we're just not going to have anything.
Right.
Then there's no rules. There's still rules
right.
because the NCAA has
But there's less rules than what we wrote.
But there's less rules than what we wrote.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of funny. Once I learned that, I said, should we just revoke our
right.
law? And there's no, we have a lot of good in there. We have a training aspect. We have these things that are actually going to protect the student in
right.
there. That
Because I remember the bill was progressive for NIL when it was first being announced.
Absolutely.
You just didn't have a reference, right? There was no point of reference.
There's no point of reference, and a lot of states copied what we did. Now we're trying to copy some of the language that lets the universities get involved. Because look, I really, if this bill passes, I could see a situation where when athletes come in, the university really is handling a lot of we're going to pair you up, and that,
which is advantage school.
Absolutely,
right?
but you still can't use, even though I think every school with a major football program is looking for a way to circumvent this. The NCAA still says you cannot use NIL to recruit players. So you can't say, come to LSU and we have $1 million deal waiting for you. That is illegal under the NCAA guidelines and can cause infractions and all those other things. Mm-hmm. But I mean, we all know that's going on. Right. But that is the rule is you can't use it to recruit.
Yeah.
And you just saw the
pay to play, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But you just saw the LHSCA get involved with NIL. Didn't they just pass some sort of, I guess, law regarding NIL?
Yeah, I think they passed basically some in the rule making process. You know, they put some rules down because because the crazy thing is it's athlete. It's it's everybody.
If you don't start in high school, you're late.
Yeah, it's true.
So could you make an offer to Arch Manning right now if you're a business owner?
Yeah, my interpretation, high school is allowed. But I mean, it's always been like that. You know, you remember, especially with basketball, high school players have always had the ability to be able to sign stuff early. It just could mean that you're not eligible to play in the NCAA, but it doesn't affect your high school eligibility. And so, unless you're a pro, unless you fully go pro. And so NIL, really what we're trying to do, and look, it passed the Senate with not a single no vote. So I think everybody's going to kind of understand what we're trying to do. Again, trying to stay competitive but again, I'll say it again. Eventually, the NCAA is going to have to come down and give us some better parameters. I think of what you can and can't do because it's the Wild West right now.
Yeah. The majority of our conversations leading up to last session were all centered around gaming. Now that gaming is legalized and open to the public, how have you seen it benefit the state? And is there anything that during the next session that you look back and you say, "Hey, let's clean this up," kind of like an NIL deal where, now that you've had a chance to look at it, is there things that you can improve on it? Yeah,
I had a conversation last night with someone about this, and one of the things that I'm a little disappointed is we haven't seen those kiosks get rolled out yet, which we really did that to try to benefit the local bars and restaurants, and we gave that to the lottery, and it's just been a very slow process, and so I have a bill potentially to try to tweak some of their language if needed, and so I need to get a little more motivated on that. Honestly, I've been concentrating so much on the budget process recently, as well as the just all the other elements coming out of redistricting and having to deal with that veto override. And so that's been dominating the majority of my time. But I need to get a little more focused in that and make sure that gets rolled out. But sports betting as a whole, I think we did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
With mobile.
It feels easy.
Yeah. I think if we didn't do mobile, we would be sitting here right now going, why do I have to keep driving down to the casino to
Right.
place a bet? Why can't I just do it on my phone like all these other states? And that's one of the conversations that we would be having. But luckily, we were very progressive. We said if we're going to roll it out, let's just go ahead and do what everybody expects us to do anyway.
Well, do you know the numbers versus mobile compared to the casino? Because I would imagine, like, I used to do exactly what you were talking about. Like, I would have to drive to LaBerge and I'd be like, I'm not doing this every time. Like, I was waiting for an app to come out, and it became my usage increased tenfold.
Yeah, and I think tenfold is the answer. I think it's about like 10 times. And I just got an email literally 2 days ago giving me the breakdown for last month, because you get it obviously a month later. And it would take me 5 minutes to be able to pull it up before I could get it to you. But yeah, I mean, the mobile's always going to outpace the in casino, But there is still the casinos love the in casino though, because it's another reason for people to come there. They've set up these massive, sports books with the TVs, and look, if you want to get out of the house and get away, get away from the wife and go
going
meet
to get
some
a carton of
buddies.
milk.
Yeah, go meet some
Ended up
buddies.
at LaBerge. I don't know.
You can post stuff and go do all that and make your bets. And so I think there's a use for both of them, but the mobile's always gonna outpace it.
Representative John Stefanski from District 42 in the middle of legislative session, hanging out with us for a couple of minutes, updating us on some of what's going on up at the Capitol. A lot of sessions are spent arguing, fighting, debating over where's the money.
Yeah.
There was not that debate this session.
No, the money's here.
You got the money.
You know what the debate is? The debate is don't lock ourselves into spending that never ends, so that what we call a reoccurring expense for this one-time money. And so that's really what the debate is make sure we're being pretty fiscally responsible. And from me personally, and one of the things I've been advocating, let's steer it all to infrastructure. And I mean, infrastructure can mean a few things. Obviously, it means roads, because our roads are horrible. So, I mean, we need to put as much money as we can on roads. But it also means like drainage. It also means like water systems. You have all these small municipalities around the state that their water systems are failing. And then broadband and the internet, because as more and more people in this country go to work from home, you have to be able to have access to very high-speed internet all across this state in order for us to be able to remain competitive. So those are things we're steering. And then, look, a huge debate going on right now is the Baton Rouge Bridge. Huge debate. So the governor initially said he wants to park $500 million for the new bridge. By the way, the new bridge is going to cost at least $3 billion. $3 billion.
What would be the timeline on something like that? A decade?
That's the problem. Okay, so this is why the debate's there. If we knew where it was going to go, and we had a plan for the rest of the money, I think there would be no debate. It would be, let's get this done. Everybody understands we need a new bridge in Baton Rouge. I'm from Crowley. Whether you're from North Louisiana, wherever you're from, you understand that traffic is an issue here, and we have to fix it. The problem is, we're sitting here, we don't know where it's going to go. They have about like 10 sites selected.
Wow.
They haven't narrowed it down yet. They haven't narrowed down a specific cost estimate of what it's exactly going to cost. And they haven't narrowed down if we're going to be able to draw down federal dollars to help supplement this, because a good chunk of this is going to come from federal dollars. And they haven't narrowed down whether or not it's going to be a toll bridge and where that funding is going to come. So there's a lot of unknowns. And with so many needs in this state, to take $500 million and park it in an account
of an unknown
gives a lot of legislators anxiety. And so that's why it's not that people don't say, hey, we want a bridge. Everybody wants the bridge. It's just, man, hurry up, figure out where it's supposed to go, figure out exactly the specifics of it, and let's get rolling. And I'll be honest, as a citizen, it's kind of shocking that we don't have that done.
It is,
isn't it?
It is. It's amazing.
How long have we talked about
how many studies have we done? I can remember being in college and them talking about another study being put together on whether or not Baton Rouge needs another. Like, forget the studies.
Yeah.
They need a bridge.
Exactly. And so it's pretty shocking, I got to tell you, as a citizen, much less a legislator, that we don't have that picked out. And I think we're a little frustrated to just say, oh, yeah, go put this huge chunk of money when all across the state we have major road issues.
Whose decision on is it where it goes?
I mean, ultimately, look, that's DOTD's decision. Policymakers like myself and the governor and other people certainly are going to have a huge input about that. But ultimately, that's why you have the Department of Transportation. They're supposed to figure this stuff out. what works the best, where the traffic flow is, all of these things. It's really their decision to do that. And I'm not trying to throw them under the bus and say they're doing a bad job. But come on, we should be further ahead than this, especially for a year like this year where we have all this extra money. But it's really the bulk of it. There's a big chunk going to fill in our unemployment trust fund because there's basically a trigger that says if that trust fund gets too low, taxes on business and individuals go up. And so we're trying to avoid that for the citizens and the businesses in the state. So we're putting a chunk of money to pop that back up. A big chunk of money in this water sector program that's going to help all the different, like I talked about, all the different both drainage and water systems around the state, and then a ton going, DOTD, roads, potentially a bridge, and we're constantly fighting trying to keep up with the teacher pay. Teacher pay is so competitive because, all the states around us are constantly raising their base teacher salary. And so we always have to look at that and try to do that and be competitive. And so those are a lot of the issues that we're dealing with and just trying to stay competitive. And I'm trying to stay on the court so we can play this house versus center basketball game.
Yeah, geez, I hear you.
Getting old sucks, man.
It does, bro. How much of world news affects what happens locally?
It does. I mean, look, what's happening in Ukraine, obviously is the dominant factor. It matters. The surging price of gas, and what it's costing us at the pump. It almost kind of makes you feel helpless sometimes from a state level because there's not a ton we can do about that. But we can try to pass legislation that makes it easier for the oil and gas companies to try to produce and get rolling on that front. It plays a part, but at the same time, I think you do have to stay in your lane. I'm not a congressman. I don't dictate federal policy, which has a huge influence on world policy. So I try to stay in my lane pretty good, but it's hard to ignore, certainly.
You mentioned the roads, and the last time you and I were together, we were eating lunch, and you kind of informed me on the roads buyback plan that is available to all parishes. Inform our listeners on that just from a political standpoint.
Yeah, so one of the things, and I don't want to go on a rant, but one of the things
Cut my mic.
the vestiges,
The floor is yours.
really of Huey Long is that Huey built roads all over this state, which is a great thing. And when he got to be governor, we didn't have roads, kids didn't have books and all these things. But when he built all these roads, he kept them all. And the problem with that is Louisiana has a ton of highways that they're responsible for that costs us a lot of money. So we do have this basically a road buyback program in the state where if you're a local, we will, if you would agree to take one of these roads back so that it's your duty to maintain it and you own it, we will actually give you the money to repave it. And we'll give you the credits, so basically the money to maintain that road for the next 30 years. I believe it's 30 years, might be 25, 30 years. And so it's a great program. And that's one of the things that I'm very passionate about is funding that program because I think it gets about $20 million every year. If we could pump like $100 million every year for the long-term health of this state, it would be a great thing. And a lot of municipalities use it, and a lot of them are waiting to use it, but there's not enough money to be able to do it. There's a lot of roads that the locals are willing to take over, but the state just hasn't funded it appropriately to be able to really maximize that.
And that would be some of the red tape that you could start to cut up at the Capitol where you could all really make an impact. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, you talk about the long-term health of this state. That's a lasting thing because we have too many roads that the state is responsible for. The state does. Louisiana just does all these screwed up things, and then we lock them all in the Constitution to where you can't ever change them. And when you compare how Louisiana runs its government compared to other states, we just do all of these screwy things. And I mean, this is just a small example, but we pay for all these roads that other states don't have to do. And so one of the reasons our roads are so crappy is we have a lot more that we're responsible for compared to your per capita in other states.
Wow. Representative John Stefanski from District 42, another busy day up at the Capitol.
I got to give a shout out. Got to give one shout out to my buddy, Coach Aaron Weiss.
Yes,
With the new
University
gig at
High.
U High. I'm pumped
Yes,
for him.
I am too.
It's a little bit closer than Central, so
Yeah.
I can go to. Hopefully, I can go to more of the games.
Coach, they got a good roster this year.
Yeah, he's got a. Oh, I mean, look, or you're gonna have the roster.
That's
You know,
right.
look, I saw Verge yesterday, and I
Yeah.
said Weiss is pumped. I know his son's on the
Yeah,
team,
his son's a stud.
yeah, I keep hearing the reports. So pumped for them and pumped for that program.
Got one for you, and a lot of people talking about the stresses that you have to deal with every day. Policy making, debating, going back and forth. But the overriding stress, it looks like, from the listenership and probably for me is, how do you do a suit a day? How do you do a suit every day? How do you rotate?
Yeah, so
How many suits do you have? You got the seersucker on today. How many times have you worn this one in session to give?
this is the first time.
So it's the first. Oh wow!
I waited till
Oh,
after
making
It's a
the
big
presents
day.
today.
Big
I
day.
I waited till after Easter.
After Easter's the rule.
Today's
Okay.
budget day. So we
Okay.
got it. Today's the day that we spend all day basically debating the budget. So felt like it was a good day to break it out. All right.
Right.
How many suits? I have a lot. I probably have over 20,
Wow.
maybe close to 25, in which that's over many years.
Sure.
So I'm a lawyer.
Sure.
So, I remember my dad bought me a suit when I went to law school.
Absolutely.
And I still have that suit actually. Just doesn't
Still
fit.
fits.
No, it doesn't fit well. But every year I try to pick a suit and buy another suit so you have a good rotation going.
Right.
A bunch of diverse colors, and I got a lot of ties now.
I'd imagine.
If I ever get out, if I get out of the situation where I don't have to wear suits, I don't know. I'm gonna have a lot of closet space.
So I mean, like the dress code is coat
yeah.
and
So
tie
the
every day,
rules
right?
of the house. So
Oh.
there's actually rules that state you must wear a coat and must wear a tie. So I mean,
Wow.
if you're not, they're supposed to escort you off the floor. And look at the sergeant at arms.
Such a
We have
shitty
our
politician.
I'm out again.
Y'all good with the Air Force Ones?
we have our own kind of police force, which is the sergeant at arms.
Right.
And look,
He's a hooper.
Yeah.
He's
He's
a
a hooper,
Smoke?
man. Yes. Well, Smoke, but we have the younger guy, Steph.
Yes.
Steph is a hooper, man.
Yeah.
And he's it's fun going against him when we do our practices. But let me tell you, if you don't follow the rules, like
bet.
he's had to toss some people before.
Wow.
He's a bad dude. So you got to wear a coat and tie every single day. And look, we've had guys who've stretched it. One guy used to wear overalls. I'm not joking, like jean overalls, but then would throw the coat on top.
Of course.
And so I mean, this is Louisiana. Don't forget.
Yes,
so we've had
right.
some members who've stretched the rules, but no, man. Look, and you want it to be professional. You do.
Yeah.
You want the guys you're sending up there. You want them to take this seriously and treat it like a professional thing. You don't want guys in sweats. Up there.
Does anybody go full Steve Jobs and just wear the exact same suit every single time, or just have a closet full of the same one?
Or just two rotations. You got
Yeah.
two, like a dark one and a light one.
Yeah.
For sure. You have guys, especially the ones that don't have a profession like mine, like somebody who's not a lawyer and never has to put suits on, really,
Right.
other than special occasions.
Probably just
or
keep
a
the
wedding.
jacket up the hill.
You see a lot of sport coat game.
Yeah.
All right. So
That's-
a
that
lot
would
of guys.
probably be the play.
Yeah.
That
A
would
lot of
probably
guys
be the
rolling
play.
with just the khakis and a solid
Yeah.
sports coat. Just keep that on rotation, and then it's really tough on the ladies in the legislature though, because they have to. I mean,
Yeah.
they have to have a good rotation too. And there's only so many things that a female can wear that's really business.
Right.
Like the business
And the
suits
colors.
And the colors, yeah, man. Like
man.
it's
Do you lose the tie for the fundraisers?
Oh yeah, tie
Yeah,
comes off
absolutely.
the
As
second.
soon as you're allowed to
the
take it off.
second,
Yeah, I'm with you.
And so
I'm
my
with you.
apartment's not far from the Capitol, so I mean, I'm sprinting back to go
Yeah.
throw on jeans and a t-shirt.
Do you
Like,
keep
I'm
it
with you.
tied, or do you tie it every day?
No, tie it every day, man.
Okay.
Hey,
Is
look,
that-
when you
Fresh
have to,
knot. Fresh
yeah.
knot.
All right, so I remember the days when I didn't have to do
Yes.
that, and it's when it becomes easier. All right,
Right.
I can tie a tie really, really quick now.
I mean, for 4 years, I had the same tie at Menard. Same knot. Just kept it the same way. Throw that thing on. We're good to go.
The bow tie game is what's interesting. So the
Oh.
bow.
Can you
so
tie a natural bow
I
tie?
can. It takes me a while because I don't do it enough. But there's a couple legislators who are always rocking the bow ties. That's kind of their thing. It's not really my thing. I don't know. I think you got to have a unique personality.
Certain panache.
Was it Mr.
Yeah.
Frank Harris, the lobbyist, back in the day, the lawyer who wore the bow tie
He wore
every
a
day?
couple-
I know that he's sick right now and
Yeah.
he needs some prayers. And he was as a young lobbyist for me. I knew his daughter Signee, who was an actress out in Los Angeles. Her and I grew up together, and he kind of saw me as a deer in headlights in the hall down there in the
Certain
basement.
ties
one day.
everywhere.
Yeah, right. He was like, Jordy, come
You're
with
lost.
me. And he wore the bow tie, and he was a great lobbyist and somebody who had great experience down there. But there's so much pride in what people wear to work every day.
Oh yeah, look,
It's-
there's a guy at the Capitol. I mean, he has crazy suits. Like
Yeah.
he has his own.
Is this Al Nashi?
It is. I wasn't gonna call him out.
I mean, that guy, dude.
I mean, crazy
It's
suits,
unreal.
like stuff where I'm like, man, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
But he pulls it off, and that's his thing, and he's known around the Capitol like I'm the suit guy. I think he trades his things in every year though, because I don't think I've ever seen him in the same suit.
And it's every time you see him, he looks like it's like crisp.
Yeah.
It's a great fit. You're like, damn, bro.
But the young lobbyists, the young lobbyists kind of dress a lot like me, wear kind of the tennis shoe dress shoe
Yeah,
with
absolutely.
a lot sportier kind of suits. And I got one of my buddies wears the bird dog pants like every day.
That's the move.
He's like, they look just like dress pants. And
Don't tell anybody.
he's told me that like 10 times in a row. They look just like dress pants.
Right.
Yeah,
With the Cole Haans.
Yeah.
You can run in.
Definitely
Yeah.
bird dogs with the Cole Haan, basically tennis shoe dress
No
shoes.
doubt.
Yeah,
No
no doubt.
You
But,
go full winter, half winter? What's the knot on the tie?
Oh, full. Yeah, full. I go
Budget
pretty
day, bro.
classic.
Yeah.
I think
Budget day.
Yeah, it's the same what my dad taught me to tie it. I think when my first prom, I think back in high school.
And
I-
immediately came off.
yeah, yeah. But back when I had the one sports coat and the one
That's right.
tie. Yeah.
Thank you as always for your representation. I know we tell you that routinely, but I know that you're up there fighting the fight for us, man, and we appreciate what you do every day. Good to see
Yeah,
you.
no doubt. Good to see you. Just want the state to be better, man. That's what it's
Absolutely,
all
man.
about. Just
Absolutely.
like I'm like everybody else. I just hopefully the state we get to a point to where we can be proud of everything in the state.
Captain America, Representative John Stefanski, our guy, sitting in with us answering all the questions here this morning. We'll be back. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by Morales Roll-Offs, moralesrolloffs.com. If you're looking to find them online, competitive pricing in dumpsters and dumpster roll-offs that you may need for your construction site. They are contractors. That's their trade. Before they got into dumpster rentals, they were in construction, so they understand the pains that you may be dealt with every day with dumpster roll-offs and pricing and trying to get them to a project. In fact, if you've got multiple projects going on, look up Morales and give them a shot. Online, moralesrolloffs.com. We will talk to Marie Ferdinand Harris here before we get out of here, and we will be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Oh, and thank you for yesterday. Great day.
Oh, wait. I know what yesterday
Yes,
was.
yes. Yeah, they passed the laws for me. Thank you. Cured my back.
City Cafe online at citycafebr.net, where good friends meet. Great food and even better service, located in the shopping center behind Rite Aid on the corner of George O'Neill and O'Neill Lane. They cater for parties, big and small. Sundays, they serve a fantastic brunch that starts at 10 a.m. They have daily lunch specials. And remember, you can look at everything online at citycafebr.net. We'll give a shout-out to Squeaky Miranda, Cody Miranda, Dirk and the crew, everybody over at City Cafe for their support here, the Jordy Culotta Show. Online, citycafebr.net. Shout out to Tom Granning from everybody over here at FM Digital Media, as he is our fuel sponsor. Whether it's fuel cards or snacks, he's keeping us going every day at FM Digital Media. If you're out on Highway 61, make sure and stop in and see him over at Go Mart. It is located in Natchez, Mississippi. It is our favorite convenience store, and it's for our guy Tom Granning, who supports us every day over here at FM Digital Media. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz. All right, personal testimony from my trip over to Johnson Spillers. Shout out to my friend Dr. Chad Spillers for taking care of me, man. I had to have my front tooth, a tooth implanted on my front tooth, and it was a hell of an ordeal, but Dr. Spillers and the crew from Johnson Spillers made it as easy and seamless as possible to work with, and have taken the final product, and it is absolutely beautiful. Learn more online at johnsonspillers.com. Whether you're looking for Botox or you need help in any type of dentistry, whether it is dentures, night guards, if you're looking for Invisalign, if you're interested in implant dentistry like I got, you can get in touch with Johnson Spillers. Online, johnsonspillers.com. 2 locations, one in Gonzales, one in Baton Rouge. Easiest way to get them, online at johnsonspillers.com. TWITTA.com. The Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet here on this Wednesday. What's that?
I thought that thing was going to take you down.
I know, man. This thing's not it's not holding.
Give you the straight arm.
The Carpool Queen is here.
Hey, y'all.
Sophie is back in school this morning after the European trip. A couple of days off. Is she kicked that jet lag? That's got to be a pretty big.
She still has not.
Yeah.
She's still struggling with that.
It's got to be a struggle to get on the.
Traffic's nice today because most people are still out for spring break.
Yeah.
That's what it's been.
There's
nobody. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Place is totally different when LSU's out. I'm telling you, the city's out.
I'm talking about the different
LSU's
schools.
not out.
LSU's not out. LSU's
Yeah.
in.
They're
We're
in.
in right now.
But
Really?
most
Yeah.
of Baton Rouge
Spring break
schools
was
are
in
out.
March. Our spring break was in
Yeah,
March.
y'all's was early.
Yeah.
Weird.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Hated it.
So y'all have
graduate.
you get Mardi Gras off and spring break?
It was like the same. I think it was like the same, or the week after Mardi
Yeah, it was
Gras.
different this year.
Yeah, it was super weird. It was like the middle of March. Then we just got the Friday off for Good Friday, back on Monday.
Damn.
Yeah.
Off yesterday.
Off yesterday for sure. Off day. I just make it an off
Yeah.
day.
Pencil that one in every year.
Yeah, like,
Celebrating
Holiday.
Stewie's holiday.
I'm not gonna be here.
Big announcement from the Senior Bowl this morning, the Reese's Senior Bowl. Shout out to our guy, Kevin Falk, is a 2022 inductee to the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame. 13 years in the NFL. He was the versatile running back for the New England Patriots. Over 11,000 all-purpose yards, and was also put into the Ring of Honor with New England. It was also a college football Hall of Famer for his time at LSU in the mid-'90s. But shout out to a LSU administrator now within LSU football, Kevin Falk, being inducted into the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame over there in Birmingham. Shout out to Jim Nagy and the crew down there for representing one of the LSU greats who deserves all the accolades, as Falk is now in that part of his career where we remember just how great of a player he was, man. Just how great of how much of an impact he made not only on LSU but the entire game, as we see him being recognized over in Birmingham at the Senior Bowl today. Don't forget about Steel Henry, our roof guy. If you've got any roof damage, get in touch with Steel Henry over at Hargrove Roofing. He can help you out at 318-229-7266. That's his direct phone number. 318-229-7266 is the direct line to get in touch with Steel Henry. He can help you out today, can jump up on your roof and give you a free inspection and let you know what's going on, man. Do you need a new roof? Do you need some maintenance on the roof? Whatever you need. And there is no roof that he can't work on.
That he can't climb. He doesn't even use a ladder. He just jumps up on there.
Yeah,
It's
just
actually pretty entertaining.
Pulls himself up.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Slings the leg over to the
Yeah,
roof,
big
get a
guy.
climb up.
Probably John Stefanski could do that.
I don't know. He's losing a little bit of chest. He said it himself.
That's the session, dude.
I know. I hate that for him.
What do you mean? You're saying
He said he's
gained
losing weight because
Oh,
he can't
losing
work out
weight.
as much because of the session.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
I feel bad for him.
Seasonal for the politicians.
Well, yeah, because he obviously has the work ethic. It's just time.
Yeah.
He's losing the battle.
He's fine. I think.
5 a.m.
He's fine.
5 a.m.
He's
bike rides.
fine, like a ticket on the dash.
Like what?
A ticket
Like
on the dash.
Okay.
Fine. Are you fine?
What? All right, we're gonna talk to Marie Ferdinand Harris here. Coming up here.
blew it.
I'm gonna cut out of here a little early. I got to get down to New Orleans at. I got to be down there for 9:30. Because
8:30 is cutting it close, Coach.
You think?
Yeah.
Nah.
Nah, I
stay
think
you'll
that,
stay
I mean, like I
on.
think the traffic and the we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Spring break.
There has been that's what shocks me. It's like it's not spring break for LSU. You have no idea why there's no traffic though. It's been unbelievable.
Because it's spring break for most East Baton Rouge Parish schools.
Like high schools.
Yes, like Anna Kent Cooper are on spring break. Sophie isn't.
Okay. I thought
so.
that-
It's most schools.
Ugh.
Every time I was driving to work, I was like, something must be going.
know,
I felt like
it
I was
seems
going
it.
the wrong way.
I
Like something must
know.
be up there where I shouldn't be going.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
It's creepy, but I like it.
I know, me too.
Quick to get here. We've been making that 8:30 call. 6:30.
I was about to say.
What?
Say what?
Hangover from yesterday. Brain's moving slow.
I bet a lot of people's brains are moving slow. My
Zurich
uncle,
Classic today. Well, I'm sorry.
That's okay. My uncle lives in San Francisco and sent me a picture of Hippie Hill in Golden Gate Park from yesterday.
Wow.
Just like
Clouds?
as far as I can see. And I like zoomed in to look at all the people. They're watching something on stage, and everybody's like hand is like up here.
I wonder
like
how.
smoking.
I wonder how much different Hippie Hill is today.
Than like in the 60s.
Than yesterday.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I'd imagine that you could probably roll up on Hippie Hill every day in San Francisco.
Oh yes. It was just like packed
Yeah.
yesterday. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure all the time.
I wonder how many people were pissed.
Have you been to San Francisco? Like, have
Yeah,
you
I
ever
lived
been?
there.
Oh, you lived
I
there.
did an internship there in college, so yeah.
So what year was this? I mean,
That
was this
that was
liberal to
2000,
marijuana? I mean,
guess.
like I remember being there very early
I mean,
before marijuana laws were
yeah.
being spoken about, being like, my God, I smell weed
Well, I
everywhere.
know, like I worked in like a mortgage information company, like a very conservative like the atmosphere, and everyone there smoked weed. Like all like, and I didn't know that. Like I came from Mississippi, I was extremely
Sure.
sheltered, and like
Sure.
it was like normal like grown ass adult business people, and it was just a normal thing, and I couldn't believe it. I was just like, God, nobody like cares or is judging. Like this is just what you do.
It is wild.
That's
It's
the biggest.
stupid.
That's the biggest shock of growing up. Whenever you're kind of in that older club, you're like, everybody's fucking smoking weed.
Yeah,
I've been
right.
hiding it from you.
Right.
They've
Like-
been hiding it. I
Yeah.
mean, they hide it too. I'm
Well, it's like the first time
why?
as a kid when you see what adults are doing.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know
what
When
I
you
mean?
realize.
Yeah,
It was like
right.
that.
Like,
No wonder
wait,
Thanksgiving's
you've
so
been
much
forcing
fun.
me to go to bed at 8:30 every night? Now I see
That's
why.
why bedtimes exist.
Yes, now I see. So you can be your true self.
It's HBO's fault.
Right. You're a bumbling drunk.
Oh, bad. I'll be there to tuck you in. Don't.
Yeah, right. Forget it.
Get it.
Exactly.
That was me as a kid. My dad would come in the room and I'd be like, bro, go back. Like, you smell like beer.
Brush your teeth.
Right. Like, beer and
Cigarettes
cigarettes.
do you
Get away.
smoke, bro?
Did you brush your teeth? Did you?
Exactly.
Say your prayers?
Beer.
No, because you aren't in here. You're drunk.
Praying for you.
Figure it out, Dad.
Do you have work tomorrow?
All right, remember the
I
Be
like beer.
the Be Like CJ race is coming up. The first annual Be Like CJ race to be the ultimate teammate going to be on LSU's campus on the Old Front 9. That is South Quad Drive coming up Saturday, May 7th. That's going to be at 9 a.m. and this is going to be brought to you by Walk-Ons and Game Coins. CJ was named was the son of former LSU athletes Marie Ferdinand Harris and of course Cedric Harris. This is free. This is a free event coming up on Saturday, May 7th. Last week, after we talked to Marie, one of our listeners jumped in and donated to the event. We very much appreciate for all of the support and want to continue to remind you about this each week here on the Culotta Show. We do it with a fan favorite, former Tiger great Marie Ferdinand Harris, who joins us again via video from Arkansas, from Texarkana this morning as they on a beautiful Wednesday morning again. Marie, how are you? Good morning.
Doing good. Good morning. How are you guys? Happy Thursday to
Yes,
y'all.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Looking
Doing
beautiful
good.
again.
Beautiful as always. And I know last week after our interview and after our segment here on the show, you heard from
Yes.
some of the listeners, and that is what we are trying to do. We are
Yes.
trying to tip people off about what's coming up on Saturday. But tell people how they can get involved here as we check back in with you.
Well, you know what? You can start rallying the troops, getting them all pumped up about the race coming up. We're all pumped up about it. We can't wait to get into Baton Rouge and, get a jump start on the festivities. But we just want you guys to spread the word, share with your friends, your family, share with your coworkers. We want it's a community affair. You know, it's for families. So we want everyone out. So the best way you can help us is share the news about the race.
Remember, you can donate and register at belikecj.com. Belikecj.com is the website where you can find out all of the information, sign up, donate, and we appreciate everybody who is helping us out in this coming up. This will be Saturday, May 7th at 9 a.m., and it will be at the old LSU front 9, so right there on campus, right across from Walk-Ons. You can easily walk up. Tell me about some of the other initiatives that are going on. I know that there is this is now a commitment to a life for you and said, you and your husband, of reminding people of the greatness of CJ and reminding him of how he can continue to help people out.
Well, we're going to continue our push of spreading CJ's message. We are still going into schools speaking on the importance of being like CJ, the importance of being kind, being humble, you know, the importance of understanding how to be that ultimate teammate. Like you said, it's a lifelong push for us to encourage young people the importance of how to treat people. It's all about respect and humility. So we are getting ready to, gear up on some school tours immediately after the Be Like CJ run race. We're going to be hitting the streets to go to different schools and spread that message on being that ultimate teammate.
Marie, last week you struck not only our audience, but everybody that was in the studio of your strength, the incredible strength that you have in not only carrying on the legacy of your lost son, but the strength in what you talk about, just the act of losing him. Where do you find that strength? Where, for people that have been so moved by your storytelling last week and your feelings, where does that strength come from?
I really believe that strength comes from my faith in Christ.
Yeah.
I feel like just like he prepared his disciples of his death, like how he would lay his life. He did the same for Sad and I. He prepared us for this. Since CJ's passing, we've been on fire for Christ. We've been finding ways to get involved. How do we reach out to other grieving parents who are walking naked, who don't know Christ and going through this tragedy by themselves? How do we get involved with retreats? How do we get involved with conferences? How we go out there and talk? I told Cedric immediately when CJ passed, we're like the most ripe for Christ right now. We can share and encourage and inspire so many people because people are going to see our strength and they're going to be encouraged. So we've been very active of going out and sharing the goodness of Christ. And like I said last week, I feel more empowered that he chose us. He chose our little CJ. Like out of all the kids in this world, like our CJ was ready for him. He was doing his work and he was ready and God called him. And I feel like now we get to do what CJ was doing. He was building lives. He was, building up God's people. He was lifting up people. He just cared for people. He didn't care he loved sports, but CJ loved people more, and now we get to continue that, with the platforms we have. And we've never been more motivated since, like CJ's passing, we've been the most motivated to go out there and encourage and build up people, shepherd God's sheep. And that's all because of CJ. We want to carry that on. So when someone like CJ loses life, there's no sadness, there's joy, there's happiness because someone has gained their wings early because they got it. They got the life principle of why we're here, which is to love people, which is to be that ultimate teammate, and which is to walk like Christ, and that's what CJ did. So we're just pumped up about what God's going to do through his foundation and the amount of people we're going to touch, and we're just so encouraged that God has given us the strength to go through it. I'm smiling, I'm happy. I just have such passion to go out there and help young people understand this principle of being respectful, being humble, being kind, and loving people. It's about love. And at a time like this, with the kids with so many young people being lost, I think it's a perfect timing to share this Be Like CJ message and be of hope to many young people who don't see hope. Yeah. So we're pumped up about it.
You are goodness. You are contagious, man. I mean, it is tough not to
Yes.
be on fire. Have you ever thought of being like a pastor or a coach? Have you ever? What was your
Oh,
calling
my gosh.
after you were playing? What did you get into? I'm sorry for the disrespect. I should know, but where?
No, you're good. You're good. Actually, a funny story, and I shouldn't even be talking about it, but here I am, and CJ always told me, Mom, you should go back and play in the WNBA, Mom. He would always encourage me, go, Mom, go do it. And I'm like, nah, CJ, I want you to go do it. And I was teaching CJ everything that I didn't do on the court. When I played basketball my whole 12 years, I literally was basketball focused. I was like that Kobe. I didn't have time to like fellowship with my teammates, go out and eat. No, I was about, hey, I'm getting ready to play a game. I remember Becky Hammond, I played with her for 3 years in San Antonio. And after practice, every time she would say, Marie, do you want to come with me? I'm going to go to watch Popovich practice. I'm going to watch the Spurs, and then I'm going to go eat with Tony Parker. And I was looking at her like, are you crazy? No, we have practice tomorrow. I'm getting ready to go ice my knee. I'm going to get ready for practice. I'm not going to watch Pop in the Spurs practice and hang out with Tony Parker. Like, that's how focused I was with sports, that I was so tunnel vision that I missed out on so many lifelong opportunities. Another funny story is even at LSU, I remember I would always be the athlete that wanted to be the first one in the gym so I can get some shots up. I can be warmed up. I'm ready to go. I have my own practice before my team practice. And I remember one time I get in there and I was so frustrated because I walk in the gym and Nick Saban and his whole staff is on the court. And, they're like having their little cardio hour. And I'm sitting there with my ball like, can y'all get out the gym already? I'm trying
They
to
were
get shots
playing
before the
pickup.
team comes.
Yeah.
Marie, they're
They
playing
were
pickup.
Yes.
Does Saban
Yes,
smoke
they were doing that.
cigarettes? Does he
Yes,
smoke cigarettes? Do you know? There was some rumor that he smoked cigarettes in between pickup games. Does he do it?
Yes. I didn't see the cigarette.
Damn
I didn't see it. But I was just like, can y'all get off the court already? I'm trying to get my little hour. So all along, I missed a lifelong opportunity to go meet Nick Saban, go play with Nick Saban. How about you jump in? But I was so tunnel vision with trying to be the best basketball player that I missed those opportunities. And these are all the things I was teaching CJ. Like, CJ, you can be all about sports, but don't forget about people. Don't forget about sharing who you are with people, networking, building relationships. Don't get caught up in just the sport, because the sport's in and all you have is who you know. So it's just so many things I missed, and I was trying to pour it out to CJ, and yeah, I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go any further.
Becky Hammond should be the first the first NBA head coach, women's head coach, in my opinion.
I agree.
How smart is she? How great of a coach is she?
Oh, she's as good as they come.
Yep.
She is ready right now.
Yeah.
It's just that I think that NBA is just not ready yet for a women coach. But let me tell you, this girl, if anyone is more qualified, more ready, that's Becky. This little thing is 5'2", but this girl here has a heart. She has a passion. You can't tell her she's 5'2". In her mind, she is 6'4". Right. She is confident. She has swag, and she's so smart. She understands the game. And she's just not afraid. It doesn't matter. Men, women, she's going to tell you. She's going to get in your face. She's just very knowledgeable. And I know that day will come for her.
Yeah.
But we're happy in the meantime to have her in the WNBA.
Amen. Amen. I thought the Pelicans should have hired her when they hired Stan Van Gundy. They got it right this time with Willie Green, but I thought they really should have hired her when they brought Van Gundy in, because it felt like she was right there. Be like CJ.
Yes.
First annual Be Like CJ run to be the race to be the ultimate teammate. It's coming up on Saturday, May 7th. Remember, it is free. You can walk up, and it is free. Compliments of our friends over at Walk-Ons and GameCoin. CJ was the son of Marie Ferdinand Harris, who we see every week here. You see her personality. You see her passion. You see her love. She is absolutely contagious, man. It is great to see you again. The birds chirping.
Yes.
Enjoy this beautiful Thursday. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. See you guys next week.
Yes,
Bye.
ma'am. Marie Ferdinand Harris checking in from Texarkana this morning. Sounded like Augusta.
It does.
I know.
Yeah, the felt like it was
Jesus,
fake.
the
She
birds
typed
in
in
the
the bird
background
noise.
back there. City Cafe, remember citycafebr.net, online, citycafebr.net. Online is where you can pick up daily lunch specials over at City Cafe. Get in touch with them today. Online's the best way to do that. Stop in at George O'Neill, for everyday lunch specials. They also have Sunday brunches over there at City Cafe. Been in business for over 100 years. So you understand the commitment that they have to putting out good food, good service over at City Cafe. CityCafeBR.net. Make sure you tell Squeaky and the crew that you heard it right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. And if you have not, log online to BeLikeCJ.com. BeLikeCJ.com. Store that into your address bar there and make sure that you are donating, signing up, and hopefully we see everybody out there Saturday, May 7th over at the old LSU Front 9 on South Quad Drive to support
chicken
Marie
parm.
said and the crew. Incredible, Marie Ferdinand. The strength of that woman and the ability to push that message every day. Golly, what a source of inspiration she is, man. I mean, she just it's tough. It is tough. We will take a break and be right back. I got to cut out. Y'all want to keep it rolling? A lot of negative looks around the room.
What are we gonna do
What did y'all
without?
talk about before I
yeah.
got here? Have y'all talked about the games last night? Have y'all talked about Shaq's divorce or anything like that?
Who?
Shaq.
I'm proud of Shaq.
Are you?
I am.
For that
admitting that
interview?
publicly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you saw what that was on, not TMZ.
Pivot.
USA
on-
Today.
USA
No,
Today.
People. I'm sorry. I got it off of people.com. My bad, y'all. My bad.
But Shaq was sitting in on a podcast and blames
The Pivot
himself
podcast.
entirely for his divorce. And Shaq was divorced in 2011 to Shawnee O'Neal, who has experienced tremendous success since the divorce.
What was he doing? Because he didn't really say. He just said
Well,
I
I
was
mean,
bad.
use your imagination.
I know,
When he was
but
talking
like-
about
O'Neal.
he was living a double life.
But didn't anybody know this when it was going on?
Sure,
Y'all
absolutely.
He was an NBA player, Katie.
I know that, but not all. That doesn't mean every NBA player cheats on their wife.
It doesn't
so
mean that every
just-
one of them does, but the
Right.
majority of them do, and especially the ones that are in Shaq's position where he was a global
Yeah.
icon. And I am not making
You're
any
making a fucking
excuses.
business decision if you're sleeping with Shaq, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Woof.
Well, there's just a lot of people coming after it, and especially during the time period that he's referencing. I mean, he married Shawnee, I believe, in 2002. I mean, think about where Shaq was in 2002. He was on top of the basketball and entertainment world. And again, no excuses, but for Shaq to give you a little insight to his life at the time. And I think the question was kind of like presented like, there was nothing you could do about that. And Shaq was like, oh, no, whoa. I could have. And it was all, I mean, I've watched the clip, and the clip is pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, it's full blame.
In the sense of where he's not ducking and dodging anything. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, the way that the question is presented is almost trying to give Shaq some type of relief.
Well, it's like he's releasing her almost too, because she's now engaged to
Right.
a pastor. So it's almost like, I mean, I'm sure she appreciates this, but that's big.
Yeah, I think she probably does publicly. I think that it seems like they've had these conversations behind the scenes. Out when Sharif was on his official visit down here a couple of years ago for the Ole Miss game, Shawnee actually brought him down, and talking to Will Wade, like they had to get Shawnee really is the one that they really had to recruit the hardest, right? I mean, they had Shaq. I mean, Shaq was in on LSU. Sharif really liked the idea of playing at LSU in the same spot and using, kind of like being at the same place his dad was. I mean, it was Shawnee that they really had to kind of recruit and sell. And after the Ole Miss game, I had Jordan and a friend, and like the entire kind of LSU basketball team, coaches, their families, everybody kind of goes into the practice facility after the games. And after the game, we kind of walked in there, and it was Sharif and his sister, who was committed to LSU women's basketball for a minute. Now, I believe that Mulkey has pulled that scholarship since then. Not pulled it, but just told her that, look, I mean, you can come here, but you'll have to walk on. And they were in there shooting basketball. Like Sharif and his sister were kind of shooting hoop. So, I mean, Jordan, see ball, get ball. I mean, as soon as the door opens up, he sprints to the ball, and he's kind of shooting with Sharif. He's kind of catching the ball out of the net and feeding it back to Sharif. And I end up just kind of sitting next to Shawnee. Like, Shawnee's sitting there, and she's kind of on the phone, and she's kind of watching, the kids play. And yeah, we just had short conversation, kind of like, hey, I'm Jordy. I knew who she was, but just kind of nice to meet you. That's my son. It's all good if I sit here. Yeah, I was like, how's Baton Rouge been? And she was very open talking, and I just very nice, very engaging person. I think that when you meet somebody like that, as at this point, she's very famous. I mean, like from a reality television star, she's made millions upon millions of dollars in her production, and she's also kind of put herself out there as a reality television. She's very well known, right, when she walks into the room. And, my short interaction with her was very graceful. It was very cool. It was very kind. And, I always kind of thought, like, from Shaq's standpoint, after that like, what a great partner she probably was for Shaq, right? Like, I mean, like, she seemed to be in just our short, again, very snippet of conversation, she was cool. You know what I mean? Like, she understood. She got what kind of the role of being a superstar NBA wife was at the time, but also gave you this demeanor of she ain't taking no shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she'll put up with a lot. And I imagine that being married to Shaquille O'Neal during that window of what Shaq is referencing has to be a lot. And like Shaq said, she was the warrior. She was the one that took care of the kids. She took care of the house. She took care of really kind of all the business stuff that was going on for Shaq at the time. And I mean, a lot of the money that Shaq has right now is based from that money he was making during that time. He's made some really smart investments and has really done well with, financially outside of his basketball and endorsement contract. He has grown his empire exponentially in his investments.
I'm sure she's well taken care of.
And she's very, very well taken, but she's also been a part of that.
Yeah.
She's also been very instrumental. Like, I mean, Shaq was the first in on Five Guys. Not first, but he was very early in on Five Guys and either 24/7 Fitness or Snap Fitness. One of the full service 24-hour gyms. Shaq was one of the largest franchisee owners of, and Shawnee was the one that I was told that told him, like, this is a wise, her background is fitness, and was really kind of like brought that investment to him and made them millions, multi-millions of dollars in investment. So I was proud of Shaq. I thought, and I expect this from Shaq. I mean, Shaq is still one of these superstars that he doesn't seem like he's worried about being canceled. He doesn't seem like he's worried about what the reaction's going to be to what he says, and he's going to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? And I think even, that has become a lost art in our industry where everybody's so, you're tiptoeing around on whether or not, should I say that? Should I say this? Can I talk about that topic? Can I go there? And Shaq's just kind of said, you know what? I'm flying in and I'm stepping all over it. This is what I'm going to talk about.
Do you think that Shaq presented the question like before the interviews, like, yeah, I want to talk about this, or they broached him before and like, hey, do you mind if we talk?
Kind of looked like it
seemed like he wanted to get the message out that he was sorry.
But it also kind of looked like they hit him with a curve, like kind of like, hey, look, we're going to talk to you about your relationships today. But it was obvious that he didn't know the context because the way that the guy presented the question was very pro Shaq. And even Shaq was like, no.
Well, he said, I'm glad you guys asked because I don't mind talking about this.
Yeah, but surely he was in the presentation, he was like, I mean, the guy was like, look, man, you couldn't do anything about that. You were Shaquille O'Neal. You know what I mean? The guy's like, and Shaq, no. It was on me. It was all me. It was my fault.
It was on me.
And I thought it was a good clip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was a great
cool.
clip. All right, y'all rolling? I'm going to be late. I got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all staying?
No.
We'll sign it off. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. Good Lord. Party style. I haven't left yet.
Let's go.
I haven't left yet, bro.
Boss is gone.
Enjoy the day. We'll be back with you. If you're heading out to the Zurich, what a beautiful day to be out there. Enjoy the golf, and we'll talk to you.
You club today,
3:30. Oh yeah.
Let's go.
Ball a hole.
Oh gosh, I hope not. Only bring 3. If you lose more than that, shouldn't be playing.
See you on 3. I'm out. All right. Have a great day.